Hi there 77 and welcome to the demonstration on how to do your design ideas. So first what we're going to do is we're going to fold our paper in half. Okay, so I want you to fold your paper in half like so, and then I want you to open it like a book. So what you're going to need for this part is a pencil and a piece of paper, and possibly a rubber and a ruler, and if possible some colouring pencils if you have them. So pause the video now and collect all that stuff if you haven't got it with you. Okay, so we folded our paper in half, and now what we're going to do is we're going to write initial idea 1 on this side and initial idea 2 on the other side. I also want you to write your name and today's date in this corner. Okay, right, so in this demonstration I'm just going to do the first idea, and I want you to only focus on your first idea until you've completed it. Okay, so first things first is we need to sketch out our idea. Now a sketch is when we use rough lines and then we will eventually neaten them up to form the outline of our design. So the outline that I want you to do is something similar to this. So we want to draw a square up at the top like so, and then directly underneath it we want to roughly draw a rectangle. Now remember to lightly draw these lines in, so if you do make a mistake you can easily rub them out without it making everlasting marks on your page. So we've got a square and a rectangle. We're then going to draw another little rectangle over here and another little rectangle about the same size as this one on the other side. Once you've done that, I want you to draw two little squares down in the same place as I have done, and these squares want to be roughly the same size as well. Okay, so you should have something very similar to this. You've got a square, a big rectangle, two little rectangles and two little squares. Okay, so that's the outline of our block bot. Then we need to attach them. So these are the arms or the hands and these are the feet. So I'm just going to draw a slightly curved arm there and a slightly curved arm there. You can go extra detail and add a little semicircle which will represent the knot of the rope. And with the feet we want to do the same thing, we want to attach them. So I'm going to do another little rope here and another little rope like so. I'm going to do a little semicircle. I'm also going to do a semicircle here at the bottom of him because we have to attach a rope all the way through, which means we're going to need another little knot here at the top. Okay, so what I want you to do now is pause the video and design that. Once you're happy with the lines, I want you to then use a ruler to straighten them out for the square and the rectangles. Okay, so pause the video now. Once you've finished, press play again. Okay, so I've just taken a moment now. I've paused the video myself and I've just used a ruler to straighten up those lines for me. Okay, so we should all have an outline that roughly looks like that. So the next step is we need to add some detail. Okay, so our design brief is to create a block bot that represents a TV or film character. Okay, so at this point now, we're going to get our pencil and we're going to lightly draw the detail of our block bots. Okay, so I think at this point, if you haven't already, you need to make sure you've got your mood board in front of you. Or if you are unable to complete that, then you need to quickly open up Google and find some images of a character that you would like to represent on your robot. Okay, so if you need to go get your mood board and set up Google, pause the video now and get that ready. Okay, so we all know what we're going to do by now, or at least what we might want to do. You've still got a chance to do more than one idea, so it doesn't have to be your favourite. So I've decided that I'm going to do the Hulk from Avengers. So I'm going to start off with some hair. Okay, so we will get a chance to paint these onto our bots. So there's my hair for my Hulk. I don't really want to do too much detail in the features, so I want to draw a little mouth like so, which I'll colour in a minute, and I want to give him some nice simple eyes like so. Yeah, so that's a very simple face for my Hulk character, and now I'm going to draw the body on the front. So we all know that the Hulk wears shorts when he's in Hulk mode. So I'm going to draw a nice faint line, but then draw them like slightly ripped, like so. I've got a nice little rough line, and in the middle, I'm just going to draw a line to represent the gap in his shorts. Okay, so I'm just going to add the rest of the detail now. So you're welcome to join in. You can even pause the video until you're ready. But at this stage, what we're doing is we're just roughly adding detail to represent our characters. Like so. Okay, so there I've got my detail for my Hulk character. He's got a nice little six pack, got some pecs going on, and he's got a face with his hair, like so. So pause the video now while you add detail to your robot, and then when you're ready, you can join us again. Okay, so once we've got our detail, the next step we need to do is add colour, if we've got colouring pencils, but we also need to add tonal shading. So tonal shading, if you can remember, is when we add the light and dark of a colour. Now the reason we do this is that it makes the our design, our drawing, look more 3D by adding depth. So a good way to start is to draw a little faint sun, if you remember, in the corner, because this means that wherever the sun is going to hit, it's going to be lighter, and where the sun is not going to hit, it's going to be darker. Okay, so you probably can't see those, but I did little faint crosses to represent no light, and little arrows to represent where the light will be. You can draw those in if you want to. If you do it very faint so you can rub them out. Right, so I'm going to just show you how to add some tonal shading to his hair, and then we can move on. So because this hair is out of the sunlight and it's towards the bottom, this is where I'm going to be a little bit darker. Okay, so I've got my dark outline put in. I then want you to faintly and lightly, either with colouring pencils or a pencil, go over the rest of that shape. Okay, like so. So you can see how I was holding the pencil on its side. That will help you get a nice fainter colouring. Then I'm going to change direction, and I'm only going to colour in part of it this time. Okay, this second layer will make that layer darker, so of course we don't want it to go everywhere. And then I'm going to do another angle and get those other darker bits that I want to get. And I'm going to keep building it up, changing direction each time, like so. So as you can see, I've now got lighter and darker bits. Where these are really dark, I probably will just keep going over it slightly, just so it blends in a bit more. If you're at home, you can do a little trick, get a little earbud, and you can always use that to blend those darker bits into the lighter bits. Bear in mind, this will only work if you use pencil and not colouring pencils. Okay. There we go, much better blend. Okay, so what I want you to do now is I want you to spend about 6 minutes adding some tonal shading to your block bot. If you don't get finished in 6 minutes, that's completely fine. It's just I want to show you the next step, and then at the end of the lesson, or when we've got some time at the end of the lesson, you can then come back and finishing it, just like we do in lessons. So 6 minutes, and then I want you to press play on this video again, and then you can find out what the next step is. So 6 minutes, add tonal shading, go. Okay, hello Year 7s, welcome back. So this is what I was able to get done in about 6 minutes. Had a bit of issue with the shorts because my pencil wasn't very sharp, so I definitely suggest sharpening those pencils to make it easier. So as you can see, I've added green because he's the Hulk, purple for his trousers, and I'm hoping to do his feet as well in purple too. Okay, so I hope that whatever character you've done, you can do completely different colours if you want to. It would have been completely your choice. So another part of our initial ideas, if you remember, is so we've got our sketch, we've got our outline, we've got our tonal shading, and now we need to add our labels and annotations. So this is where we label it so that there is no mistaking what our drawing is of, okay, what our design is. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give him a name. So obviously I've done the Marvel character Hulk. There's his name, Hulk, and now I'm going to label it. So this is especially important if you haven't got colouring pencils and you've done it all in pencil, so we know what colour everything is. So I've got black hair, black eyes, green paint, put recycled rope. I might even label it so it's a bit clearer. So this bit here, that's his head. So that's the head block. And then that bit is the body block. Got hand block. Foot. Etc. Okay, so I've also labelled it like purple paint. It's got recycled rope, we've got the head block, the body block, hand blocks, feet blocks. I've labelled his colours, label what character he is. And now for the annotations. So annotations are like a brief description. So an annotation example would be made from softwood I'm going to say he's made out of birch, so equals birch. Decoration in paint. Recycled rope, although if you've already done that as a label you wouldn't necessarily need to do that. Green. And another little annotation I'm going to put in as well, I'm going to put it up here, is that the eyes are half drilled. So basically when I do his eyes, I'm going to use a drill and I'm going to like slightly drill into his head to make like a curve. Let's do it lower so in the camera. So like there'll be like a little indent where his eyes would be. So eyes are half drilled, mouth is chiseled. I mean, you don't have to write those bits, but it's a nice, it just adds a little extra to your labels and annotations. So what you need to do next is that you need to add all the labels, all the annotations that you can think of, over explain your character, make it absolutely no mistaking what each component, what each part is for. Okay, so we need to know what each component is for. Once you've finished all your labels, then you're welcome to finish off your tonal shading. So then eventually you'll have something that looks like this. Okay, so I've got my little Bloc guy. He's got his name, his labels, he's got all of his tonal shading, and he's got some annotation as well. Okay, so we want something like that. If you've still got time at the end of the lesson and you've done your exit quiz as well, then you're more than welcome to move on to your second initial idea. I want you to do a different character for this, or maybe like a different look for the same character. Maybe he's wearing a different outfit, something like that. Next lesson I'll show you how to evaluate your initial ideas, and we can also continue with more of them. I'm hoping to get 4 of them before we move on to the next step. But don't worry, there's no rush. We've got this lesson, next lesson, and maybe even a third lesson to get all the designs done. So rest this lesson, finish off at least one more design, completely finished, and then move on to a second one. Thank you.